This is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com. It is in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any of our watches. Reach out to us directly, Team Mosso at the1916company.com. Today we discuss a watch that is a 2018 update of a Baselworld 2011 launch. In 2011, Patek Philippe created its first series production grand complication wristwatch, the 5208P. And in 2018, it gave us this, the 5208R, now in rose gold. It is a minute-repeating mono-pusher chronograph with instantaneous change perpetual calendar. And it is said to be the watch that Terry Stern regularly wears. Not only that, but he has opined that rose gold minute repeaters sound the best. So in theory, aside from the only watch, this should be the ultimate sonic 5208. So it is an impressive watch in size, though maybe not as big as it looks on camera. 42 millimeters in diameter, it's 15.2 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 52 millimeters broad, with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. I'm going to throw this watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference. I can wear this, but if your wrist is any smaller than mine, you're going to want to go with a smaller Patek Philippe. Now, it's not super thick, and it does have a concave bezel, so visually and practically, it thins out quite a bit, as a sleeve or a cuff will ramp up over that bezel and the stepped case length fairly easily. So don't give up on wearing this with a dress sleeve. It probably will fit. You can see down the barrel how it fits on a 16 centimeter wrist. It's right out to the edge. Again, I can wear it, but if your wrist is any smaller watch. We have a strap that is a combination of large and medium rectangular scale alligator leather in black. There's very little bolstering. It's surprisingly thin. It has a folded edge, a monotone stitch, calfskin on the bottom, and Patek Philippe's most recent pull tab spring bars that allow you to pop the strap off the case without a tool. We have a relatively simple, matching rose gold, friction fit, snap shut, single fold deployant clasp with the Calatrava cross outside. That is the logo of the manufacturer. We find it all over the watch. We find it on the crown. We find it on the strap. We find it on the case back in unexpected form over the repeater governor. Now we will take a look at the dial side, but let's get there by way of the case, which is surprisingly nuanced. In addition to the concave profile of the bezel, you can see that the lugs are open, airy, like flying buttresses of a Gothic cathedral. Fully evacuated, you can see straight through them. They reduce the visual mass of the watch and add pronounced elegance. By the way, this is a massive movement, over 10 millimeters thick and remarkably 32 millimeters broad. It properly fills this large case. Now, what does it mean to have an instantaneous changing perpetual calendar? What it doesn't mean that the watch changes at precisely 12 a.m. It means it changes instantaneously around 12 a.m. And I'm actually going to demonstrate this right now. Let's remove the distraction. It's a mono-pusher chronograph right there. You can see that the little day-night indicator is blue, meaning that we are entering the early morning hours. We're going to go all the way around here. And now you can see it's daytime, the little AM PM indicator. When it's white, you're safe. If it turns blue, do not attempt to use the pushers on the case flank to set the calendar. That's what that's there for. It's not really an AM PM indicator. It is mostly a danger zone indicator. You don't like to set calendars using pusher adjusters at night. Okay, so here we go. Watch the instantaneous change, but also note that it takes place about 30 seconds removed from actual midnight. There you go, just like that. Instantaneous, but again, not precisely at midnight. All of them are like that. So I just want to set expectations reasonably. We have an aperture style perpetual calendar. We have the day, the date, month, American style. We have a leap year phase indication sitting on the chronograph minutes display. And by the way, how much do you love that the chronograph minutes display goes up to 60? I like 60-minute chronograph registers, and you really don't lose anything, as you still have running seconds if you want an animated dial, and chrono hours over on the other side. Now, this is a column wheel lateral clutch chrono, so you can see it has a lateral clutch, which is generally what Patek puts on its upscale watches. There's a little bit of jump when you activate, but it has a nice crisp column wheel. You really feel the pop of the column wheel here. The tuning quality is outstanding. We have a dial with a combination of silver and black. You can see the center dial's been matted. There's a little bit of a recessed dial disc at center. And then we have a silvered track outboard for reading our chronograph minutes and also our chronograph seconds. I should say our minutes of the day and chronograph seconds and fractions of seconds. We have faceted Dauphine-style hands at center, which make them a little bit easier to read against a dark dial. And then we have faceted baton-style hour indices. So what does all of this do for us? Well, it gives you a grand complication, which traditionally defined is no less than a chronograph, a minute repeater, and a perpetual calendar. It does not traditionally have to be a split-second chrono, and it does not traditionally have to include a tourbillon. That was not the expectation on a Grand Complication. Now, you may be confused because Patek has an entire product category on its website called Grand Complications. Those are not. That's just a term they use to classify their watches. Those watches are not Grand Comps unless they're this. Now, we are going to demonstrate the minute repeater. The way to do that is always, I'm just going to, again, remove the distraction. The way to do that is to set the watch to 12:59, where you'll get 12 hours, you'll get 3 double strikes for the quarters, and then you will get 14 minutes after the final quarter. So let's see if I did this right. You could see those beautifully black polished and beveled strikers and extraordinarily large gongs given the size of the case. The movement's name, well, it's alphabet soup. You could see this is literally what it says. RCH27PSQI. That means it's a repeater, it's a chronograph. The base movement, that is the core of it, not the complications above, but the base movement is 27 millimeters. Petit second, we have a small second on the dial side, and then QI, that is an instantaneous changing perpetual calendar. The repeater governor hides underneath this little gold Calatrava cross. We have a 22 karat gold mass with a lovely Grand Orge guilloche cut barley corn style, as it's described. 6 position adjusted. This is a movement with 719 pieces. It has 63 joules. It has a 48-hour power reserve, despite driving quite a few complications. The finishing is as good as it gets at Patek, especially the repeater elements. You could see it features a free-sprung Gyromax style balance. And what you can't see is actually it has the Spiromax silicon anti-magnetic hairspring, making this one of the most expensive Patek Philippe watches that does include the silicon hairspring. So, again, uncommon in the really expensive watches, and this is a really expensive watch with a retail price over $1 million US. Again, 6 position adjustment, no place for deviation or inaccuracy to hide. 5 position adjustment is chronometer standard. That's why Patek adjusts this to 6. Accurate to no worse than -3 + 2 seconds per 24 hours from the factory, and it beats away at a 3 hertz beat rate. The finishing speaks for itself. By the way, no water resistance, not 30, not 20, not 10. These repeaters are resistant to atmospheric moisture and dust only, so do not take them swimming, but that is going to be the one limitation. This is a watch designed to be worn every day. It's not something designed to be babied. Wear it with respect, but enjoy it. That was Terry Stern's intent, and perhaps why he so regularly, reportedly, wears one of these. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.